Have you ever found yourself preferring the quiet company of your own thoughts over the bustling noise of social gatherings? Well, my friends, you're not alone. I'm 75, and I've come to realize that avoiding people isn't just a quirk, it's a conscious choice, and today, I want to share with you why I've chosen this path. Stick around until the end to hear all 8 reasons, because understanding these might offer you some comfort, or even validation for your own social preferences. Before we begin, if this sounds like the kind of content you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our stories and tips on living fully at every age. If you like this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. As I've grown older, I've noticed a significant shift in how I manage my energy. Let me explain a bit about what I mean by energy conservation. It's not just about physical stamina but also mental and emotional reserves. You see, in our youth, we often take our boundless energy for granted, bouncing from one social event to another, hardly pausing to catch our breath. But as the years add on, this kind of pace seems not only impractical but often downright exhausting. Take, for example, a family reunion I attended last year. It was a lovely gathering, filled with relatives I hadn't seen in years, lively music, and an endless buffet of favorite dishes. Initially, I was thrilled, eager to catch up with everyone and partake in the festivities. However, I quickly realized how overwhelming such events had become. Conversations that I would have once jumped into without a second thought now required a level of effort that I found surprisingly taxing. By the end of the day, I felt drained, not just physically but emotionally too. It took me several days to recover from the event, to feel like myself again. This experience was a turning point for me. It made me realize that my energy is a finite resource that needs to be managed more carefully than ever before. I started to notice patterns in what activities drain me the most, and which ones contribute to my energy levels. Large social gatherings, particularly those that involve a lot of socializing and emotional engagement, tend to be the most draining. This isn't to say I don't enjoy the company of others, but I've learned to appreciate it in smaller, more manageable doses. Now, I prioritize smaller gatherings, like a quiet lunch with a close friend or a family dinner at home, where the environment is more controlled and less chaotic. These settings allow for deeper, more meaningful interactions, which I find more fulfilling and less exhausting. I also make sure to schedule time for rest before and after social events, to ensure that I don't deplete my reserves. Embracing this slower pace has not only helped me conserve energy but has improved my overall well-being. I find that I am able to enjoy my activities more thoroughly when I am not worried about running out of steam. It's like carefully choosing where to invest your savings as you get older. You want to ensure that you get the maximum return with the least risk. For me, the return is the joy and satisfaction from interactions that are enriching and uplifting, rather than overwhelming. In our later years, understanding and respecting our physical and emotional limitations is crucial. It's not about withdrawing from life but about adapting to our changing capacities to fully enjoy our days. By conserving our energy, we can focus on what truly matters and continue to lead vibrant, fulfilling lives without the unnecessary strain of trying to keep up with a pace that no longer suits us. This way, we maintain our health and happiness, ensuring that we can enjoy the beauty of life for as long as possible. Enjoying solitude is an art that I believe comes with maturity and experience. When we're young, the idea of spending time alone can sometimes feel like a missed opportunity. There's a fear of missing out on fun, connections, or opportunities. However, as I've aged, I've come to see solitude not as a lack but as a rich, fulfilling presence in my life. There's a peacefulness to solitude that I've grown to cherish deeply. In my earlier years, I might have mistaken solitude for loneliness, but now I understand it as a profound connection with myself. During these quiet times, I engage in activities that I genuinely love, activities that perhaps require a quieter environment or more focused attention than I could manage in a group setting. For instance, my morning walks have become sacred. The tranquility of the early morning, with just the chorus of birds and the rhythmic sound of my footsteps, allows me to start my day centered and calm. I used to jog with a group, but I found that as we chatted, I lost some of the meditative quality that I now so value. Walking alone, I have the space to observe my thoughts, to reflect on my life, and to appreciate the beauty of the natural world around me. Another solitude-filled joy is reading in my backyard. I've always been an avid reader, but in the past, reading was often squeezed into the margins of my day. Now, I give myself permission to spend hours with a good book. This uninterrupted time not only allows me to dive deeper into the stories or subjects I'm exploring, but also gives me a sense of peace and fulfillment that I rarely found in more bustling activities. My hobby of bird watching is yet another activity that benefits from solitude. Sitting quietly, waiting for birds to appear requires patience and quiet, qualities that are often best cultivated alone. This hobby has taught me a lot about the rhythms of nature and about the importance of stillness, not just in bird watching but in life generally. These moments alone are not times of isolation but are, instead, opportunities for growth and personal enrichment. They refresh my soul and recharge my spirit in ways that social gatherings no longer do. There's a misconception that being alone means being lonely, but in solitude, I've found a companion in myself that is just as valuable as any friend. Solitude also allows for self-reflection, a critical part of maintaining emotional and mental health as we age. In these quiet moments, I can assess my life's path, make decisions about the future, and cultivate a sense of inner peace that comes from deep understanding and acceptance of myself. This appreciation of solitude has significantly shifted my perspective on life and aging. Rather than seeing the years as a time of loss, of energy, of company, of activity, I see them as offering a new kind of abundance. This is a time rich with the potential for deep personal exploration and discovery, a time when the external noise dims and the internal voice becomes clearer and more profound. Embracing solitude has not only improved my quality of life but has also given me a stronger sense of autonomy and confidence. Knowing that I can enjoy my own company means that social interactions are now choices I make based on desire, not necessity, adding value to the times when I do choose to engage with others. Simplifying my social circles has been another profound change that has brought unexpected peace and joy into my later years. When we're younger, there's a tendency to gather as many friends and acquaintances as we possibly can, often mistaking quantity for quality in our social interactions. Over time, however, I've come to realize the importance of nurturing a few deep, meaningful connections rather than maintaining numerous superficial ones. I used to attend every social gathering, community event, and party that I could. Initially, it felt great to be so involved, to be known and to know so many. Yet I gradually noticed that these interactions were often shallow and fleeting. I would come home feeling more drained than fulfilled, realizing I had spent hours conversing without having a single memorable or significant exchange. This realization prompted a shift in my approach to social relationships. I began to carefully consider which relationships truly added value to my life, and which ones felt obligatory or unfulfilling. It was not an easy process. It involved difficult decisions, like choosing not to attend certain gatherings or gently letting go of relationships that no longer served me well. For instance, I had a longtime acquaintance. I'll call him John. We would meet at various events, exchange pleasantries, and talk about this and that. But over the years, I noticed our conversations never went beyond the surface. When I began reassessing my social investments, I realized interactions with John were emblematic of many of my social exchanges, pleasant but ultimately insubstantial. So, I made the conscious decision to invest more in relationships where deeper, more personal conversations were the norm, not the exception. The impact of this decision was profound. My social life may have shrunk in size, but it grew immensely in significance. The friends I chose to keep close were those who could share in honest, heartfelt discussions, who could laugh and reminisce with me, who understood my quirks and respected my boundaries. These relationships have proven to be more enriching and supportive, providing a foundation of true companionship. Simplifying my social circle also meant I could focus more on each relationship. I had more time to spend with each friend, more energy to listen actively and engage fully. This not only strengthened these relationships but also made social gatherings something to look forward to, rather than obligations to endure. Moreover, this process helped me understand my own needs better. I recognized that what I truly value in friendships are empathy, mutual respect, and a genuine interest in each other's well-being. As I cultivated these qualities in my relationships, I found that my friends began to mirror them back to me. It created a cycle of positivity that uplifted everyone involved. In essence, by choosing quality over quantity in my social interactions, I've not only improved the quality of my friendships, but also enhanced my overall life satisfaction. It's a testament to the idea that as we age, our social worlds need not diminish in depth and meaning, even if they become smaller in scale. This intentional simplification has been liberating, allowing me to cherish and prioritize the relationships that truly matter, making each interaction more intentional and heartfelt. Avoiding drama has become a guiding principle for me as I've grown older. The energy and patience required to navigate conflicts and emotionally charged situations are resources I've learned to guard closely. This decision to step away from drama isn't about avoiding genuine connections or important issues. It's about choosing peace and stability in my day-to-day life. In my younger years, I often found myself drawn into the middle of friends' disputes or family disagreements, sometimes out of a misguided sense of duty to help resolve them. I remember one particular incident that really highlighted the need for change. A close friend of mine, whom I'll call Sarah, had a falling out with another member of our circle. What began as a minor misunderstanding quickly escalated into a full-blown feud, and somehow, I found myself recruited as a mediator. The stress and tension of trying to mend this rift were overwhelming. Meetings and discussions seemed endless, and no matter how much I tried to help, it felt like both parties were more interested in winning the argument than in resolving the conflict. This episode not only drained me emotionally but also took a toll on my own relationships within the group. It was then I realized how such dramas were detrimental to my own well-being. From that point on, I made a conscious decision to steer clear of situations that could lead to similar kinds of drama. This meant sometimes choosing not to engage in certain conversations, or even distancing myself from individuals who seemed to thrive on conflict. It wasn't an easy decision, especially when it involved long-standing relationships, but the peace it brought was worth the initial discomfort. Avoiding drama has allowed me to focus on relationships that are uplifting and straightforward. I seek out and maintain friendships with those who also appreciate a drama-free life. We respect each other's opinions and boundaries, and when disagreements occur, we handle them with maturity and calm. This approach has deeply enriched my social interactions, making them sources of joy rather than stress. Furthermore, distancing myself from drama has improved my mental and emotional health significantly. The absence of constant conflict has provided a sense of stability that I deeply value at this stage in my life. It has allowed me to invest my time and energy in activities and people that bring happiness and growth. This avoidance of drama also extends to my consumption of media and the types of entertainment I choose. I avoid sensational news and dramatic television shows, which tend to stir up unnecessary emotions. Instead, I opt for content that is uplifting, educational, or simply enjoyable without being emotionally taxing. This selective engagement with media has helped maintain my inner peace and keep my mental space clear. In doing so, I've noticed a significant improvement in my overall contentment and a reduction in anxiety. It's as if by removing myself from unnecessary drama, I've tuned into a frequency of life that is more harmonious and serene. In conclusion, choosing to avoid drama is not about isolating oneself or ignoring the problems of the world. It's about setting boundaries that protect one's emotional well-being. It's about recognizing that at this stage of life, peace is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. This decision has allowed me to live my later years with tranquility, and has taught me the invaluable skill of discernment in what I allow into my life. As I've matured into my later years, valuing quality over quantity has become a fundamental principle, not just in my relationships, but in every aspect of my life. This philosophy is about choosing depth and richness in experiences and interactions, which I've found to be far more fulfilling than a higher quantity of less meaningful engagements. This principle really came into focus for me through my social interactions. I used to feel compelled to attend every gathering, believing that staying busy was staying connected. However, I often returned home feeling unfulfilled, realizing I had engaged in numerous superficial conversations without really connecting with anyone on a deeper level. Take, for instance, my old habit of going to weekly community bingo nights. While fun, I noticed over time that these evenings were more about filling time than fulfilling my social needs. The turning point came when I decided to skip bingo to attend a small book club meeting with just a few members. The depth of discussion and the genuine connections I formed there were starkly different from the bingo nights. Each meeting left me energized and inspired, and I soon realized that these were the types of interactions I wanted to prioritize. Embracing quality over quantity meant becoming more selective about how I spend my time and with whom I spend it. I began to decline invitations that didn't feel meaningful and focused on activities that genuinely interested me. This wasn't about being antisocial, but about being selective in a way that enriched my life. This approach extends beyond social activities to other choices I make, like the books I read, the projects I undertake, and even the daily routines I establish. For example, instead of rushing through books to hit a reading goal, I take my time to savor each book, pondering the themes and messages and how they apply to my life. This slower, more thoughtful consumption has made reading more enjoyable and impactful. In my home, I apply the same principle to possessions. Over the years, I've decluttered my living space, keeping only those items that have real value or bring joy. Each object in my home has a story and a purpose, avoiding the clutter that can overwhelm and detract from the quality of my environment. Furthermore, in my personal growth efforts, I focus on a few key areas at a time, giving each the attention it deserves rather than spreading myself too thin. This might mean deepening my knowledge of gardening, improving my watercolor painting skills, or learning more about a topic that fascinates me, like astronomy. This quality over quantity approach has also improved my relationships. By spending time with fewer people but investing more in those relationships, I've developed a circle of friends who truly know and understand me. Our interactions are rich with meaningful conversations and mutual support, which I treasure far more than a wider circle of acquaintances. Ultimately, adopting this principle has led to a more satisfying, contented life. It's about making the most out of every moment and interaction, ensuring that my time is spent in ways that add value and happiness to my life. It's a reminder that as we age, our time becomes one of our most precious resources, and how we choose to spend it can greatly impact our happiness and well-being. In conclusion, valuing quality over quantity isn't about having less, it's about having better. It's a choice that prioritizes depth and connection, leading to a richer, more fulfilling life. This is a lesson I wish I had learned earlier but am deeply grateful to embrace now, in these golden years. As we grow older, our health inevitably becomes a more pressing concern. It's not just about managing chronic conditions or dealing with the occasional aches and pains. It's about recognizing that our immune systems and physical resilience aren't what they used to be. This reality has profoundly influenced my social habits, particularly in terms of how often I choose to be in large groups or public places. For instance, a few years ago, I enjoyed frequent outings to local theaters, community centers, and restaurants. However, as I've aged, I've become more susceptible to colds, flu, and other illnesses that can be easily contracted in crowded environments. The turning point came after a particularly harsh flu season when I fell ill after attending a busy community event. The recovery was slow and more difficult than when I was younger, and it made me acutely aware of the risks associated with such environments. Since then, I have made a conscious decision to avoid large gatherings during peak illness seasons or whenever there's news of a particularly virulent virus going around. Instead, I've found alternative ways to engage with my interests and socialize in safer settings. For example, instead of going to a crowded theater, I now host small movie nights at my home with a few friends. We pick a film, everyone brings a snack, and we enjoy the evening in a controlled, clean environment. This approach extends to my daily routines as well. I used to shop during peak hours for groceries and essentials, but I've since shifted to quieter times of the day. If possible, I utilize delivery services to minimize exposure to crowded places. These changes not only help protect my physical health but also reduce stress and anxiety about getting sick. Moreover, being mindful of my health has led me to invest more time in preventive care. I focus on maintaining a balanced diet, staying active through walking and gentle exercises like yoga, and keeping up with regular checkups and vaccinations. This proactive approach to health care is essential in preserving my well-being and ensuring that I can enjoy my later years without constant concern over illness. Adapting my social life to accommodate these health concerns has also had unexpected benefits. It has encouraged me to explore new hobbies and interests that I might not have considered before. For instance, I've taken up gardening, which not only keeps me physically active but also provides a peaceful and safe outdoor activity right in my own backyard. Gardening has become a therapeutic pastime, offering both physical exercise and the joy of nurturing growth, which are vital for maintaining mental health as well. Additionally, these changes have prompted more frequent and meaningful connections with family and friends who understand and respect my health-focused boundaries. We often have more intimate gatherings, where we can engage in deep, meaningful conversations that might be difficult in larger, noisier settings. In essence, while health concerns have necessitated some adjustments in how and where I socialize, these changes have enriched my life in ways I hadn't anticipated. By focusing on health and safety, I've not only protected my physical well-being but also discovered new joys and deeper, more fulfilling ways to connect with others. Health, I've learned, isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about making choices that enhance overall quality of life. As I've advanced in age, the value I place on family has deepened significantly. It's not merely about biological ties but about cherishing the moments and connections that truly enrich our lives. With time, these relationships have become paramount, overtaking the desire to cultivate a wide array of acquaintances. My focus has shifted towards nurturing these bonds, which offer both support and profound satisfaction. One of the reasons this shift has occurred is due to the realization of time's preciousness. As we grow older, the reality that our moments together may become limited becomes clearer. This understanding has propelled me to prioritize family gatherings and one-on-one time with family members over social outings with casual friends or acquaintances. For instance, I used to spend weekends attending various community events or meeting with different social groups. Now I find immense joy in reserving most weekends for family activities, like a quiet lunch with my daughter or fishing trips with my grandchildren. These moments with family are not only pleasurable but are foundational to our emotional well-being. Recently, instead of going to a local social club's busy meetup, I chose to spend an afternoon teaching my grandson how to fish. This was a profoundly rewarding experience, far outweighing the superficial chatter that often characterizes larger social gatherings. It was not just about teaching him to fish but about passing down knowledge, sharing stories of my youth, and building a legacy of shared experiences that strengthen our familial ties. Moreover, these focused family interactions allow for a quality of engagement that is rare in more formal or crowded settings. Conversations can dive deeper, free from the interruptions and distractions of larger group dynamics. We can discuss personal achievements, challenges, and dreams in a supportive and intimate environment. This has been especially meaningful with my adult children, as we navigate the complexities of their lives and my role as a parent and mentor. Appreciating family also means being there for each other during challenging times. As health issues arise or as life throws its curveballs, the family has proven to be the first line of support. Whether it's a ride to a doctor's appointment or help around the house during a recovery period, these acts of service strengthen our bonds and underscore the importance of family in providing care and comfort. This appreciation extends to creating traditions or rituals that celebrate our connection. Be it holiday gatherings, birthday celebrations, or impromptu BBQs, each event is a chance to reinforce our bonds and create lasting memories. These traditions become the glue that holds us together, providing continuity and a sense of belonging that is deeply comforting. In reflecting on these changes, I realize that appreciating family is about more than just spending time together. It's about consciously choosing to invest in these relationships in a way that nurtures both individual and collective growth. Each interaction, Each shared memory adds layers to our family's story, enriching our lives more than any other social engagement could. Thus, as I continue to navigate the later stages of life, my family remains my most cherished priority. This focus has not only simplified my social life but has enriched it immeasurably, bringing clarity and joy that only deep, meaningful connections can provide. In the end, these are the relationships that matter most, the ones that sustain us and give life its deepest meaning. Reflecting on life, particularly as it stretches into the later years, has become a cherished activity for me. This introspective journey is more than mere reminiscence. It's an essential practice that influences how I view my past, present, and future. It involves looking back at the choices I've made, the relationships I've nurtured, and the paths I've followed, as well as looking forward to how I want to shape my remaining years. One of the key reasons why I now often choose to avoid larger social gatherings is the quiet space that solitude affords for such reflection. In these calm moments, I can truly appreciate the vast tapestry of experiences that my life has been. Each thread, whether colored by joy or shaded by challenge, has contributed to the rich, complex whole of my existence. This reflection allows me to assess not just what I've done, but who I've become through these experiences. For example, I recall the bustling career I once had, filled with long days and numerous responsibilities. While I found this time of my life rewarding, it left little room for contemplation. Now, with the slower pace of retirement, I find joy in considering how my career shaped my character and values. I think about the lessons learned and how they influence my current decisions, such as choosing to dedicate more time to my family and personal well-being instead of seeking constant social engagement. This reflective practice also helps me come to terms with any regrets or mistakes. Instead of dwelling on them, I view them as valuable lessons. There was a time when perhaps I might have prioritized work over a family event, or chose a social outing over a quiet evening with a loved one. Reflecting on these choices has taught me the importance of balance and the value of prioritizing relationships and personal peace over external demands. Moreover, reflecting on life has reinforced my understanding of what truly brings me happiness and fulfillment. I've discovered that my greatest joys are often found in simple pleasures: a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, a good book by the fireplace, a heartfelt conversation with a friend, or a laughter-filled dinner with my family. These moments, while seemingly small, are profoundly significant in the grand landscape of my life. Looking forward also becomes an important aspect of my reflections. I consider what legacies I wish to leave, how I want to be remembered by my family and friends, and what values I hope to pass on to future generations. This forward-thinking approach ensures that my daily actions are aligned with these larger goals, making my life not just a series of days but a cohesive whole that reflects my deepest beliefs and aspirations. Reflecting on life has thus become a form of self-care, a necessary and nourishing practice that enhances my well-being and provides clarity and purpose. It helps me make peace with the past, embrace the present, and plan for the future with intention and grace. By choosing to spend less time in social settings that don't facilitate this kind of introspection, I have enriched my inner life and found a profound sense of satisfaction and tranquility. In conclusion, the practice of reflecting on my life is one of the most valuable habits I have developed in my later years. It not only allows me to understand and appreciate my life's journey but also helps me to make thoughtful choices about how I spend my time, with whom I share it, and what I prioritize. It is, in essence, the compass by which I navigate my remaining years, ensuring that each day is lived fully and with purpose. In wrapping up each of these points, from conserving energy to reflecting deeply on life, highlights why at 75, I often choose solitude and a close-knit circle over bustling social scenes. This choice isn't about isolation but about enriching the quality of my life in ways that resonate most deeply with my current needs and desires. Whether it's the quiet joy of solitude, the depth of family connections, or the peace that comes from avoiding unnecessary drama, these choices support a life filled with more joy and less stress. As we all navigate our later years, may we find the courage to make choices that truly reflect our deepest needs and bring us the greatest joys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more content that inspires growth, joy, and purpose. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.